Greetings, 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 everyone. Oh, that lighting's crazy. So I just wanted to share some thoughts real quick. Okay. I'm out here in the woods by my house. Today I chose to come out here with my sunflower seeds, no shoes. Also, I don't have on any bra or booby holster of any kind. Why? Because I'm tired. I just don't feel like it. Not yet. Not yet. But I titled this, "You Are the Altar That Will Alter Reality," because I'm walking around barefoot in the woods, which is something I do often. And I don't even bring my shoes. I just leave my shoes in the car. Why? Because we would not be here if it were not for those who walked without shoes. And in order to have the ability to embrace what we throw around like, oh, free will, free choice, right? To have the ability to embrace that and be like, yes, I have shoes. However, I'm not going to wear those shoes. I'm going to put my feet on the ground, quote unquote, grounding. This is not woo-woo stuff. This is reclamation. We set up these altars, and I'm not against altars. We set up these altars to venerate our ancestors, to venerate our deities, to venerate whoever and whatever, right? And then we walk away from our homes and assimilate. I once had an ex ask me when she came to my house about my herbs and things that I just have sitting out in my kitchen. Why? Because only the most trusted of people come into my kitchen. Only the most trusted of people come into my house. And that's even when it comes to clients. She said, don't you want to hide? Don't you feel a need to hide your magic? No. Because while these herbs are natural, they are sitting here dormant until I activate them. Your feet are sitting there dormant in your shoes, on the soles of your sandals. Your eyes are sitting there dormant until you've scanned the ground with them. And not out of fear, just out of knowing. Where should I place my feet? We're in a time where the work needs to be taken in. It needs to be embodied. It needs to be lived. And these things that we release, we need to remember that people survived without them. People thrived without them. Not just survived. Our ancestors didn't just survive. Ancient Egyptians had bare feet. These ancient shamanic civilizations had bare feet. And less covered feet were necessary. And then it just became the thing. Oh, if I can cover my feet, then I'm going to cover my feet. Which, ironically, I wasn't there. But based on the history that I've lived, it's like, if you're still the one wearing bare feet, then you're a weirdo. You're behind the times. I ask each and every one of you to embrace yourself as the altar. What is your body calling you to release? And I'm not saying you have to do it all day, but give it the time that it deserves. Why? Because that is what empowers you. that is what will bring in those ancestors that aren't looking at your altar. They're not listening to your words. Maybe they didn't even have words. They just had energy. They were embodied. So until you bring it in your body, let me give y'all this view because it's lovely. Until you bring it into your body, until you move, right? Anytime I do stuff like this, like I live in Maryland. Maryland is a southern state technically, as far as societal colloquial boundaries. And also, my people in the generations prior to Maryland were from North and South Carolina. They were sharecroppers. They were enslaved. They were farmers. They were land people. And I'm sure before that, they were possibly land people as well. Just maybe in a different way. Sorry, there was a spider crawling up my sleeve. And I can't go for that. No. No can do. But when I do things like this, right? This is a part of the shamanic journey. And saying shamanic journey, it's like, oh, we got to get on a boat. We got to get on a plane. We got to go into the forest of some foreign country and tap into a foreign land. When people haven't started where they were and then went back to where their people were to tap into that. Look at this cool leaf. How wonderful. Look at that. Oh, you can't see it. It won't come into focus. I'm sorry. It's this nice little tweedle on the end. Let me see. Can you see these ones? There we go. Even with these sunflower seeds, I grew up eating these. And for the longest time, I had stopped. And I went to plain salted ones because of all the stories about the food. And they just never did it for me. They never brought as much joy as the other ones did. And we gotta be sorry, somebody's riding by on their bike. They just rode by on their bike, and I have no intention of filming their backside today. But these are what connects me to my own roots, to my own childhood, without embodying condemnation for every little thing. And me and my son, man, we can go through a bag of these. Big bag. We can go through a big bag of these in like 2-3 days, in a weekend. We polish them off in the weekend. And he's particular about food. So it just tickles me that he's like, yes, sunflower seeds. They're also a really good source of protein. Look at these cute little mushrooms. Oh my goodness. These are little cute mushrooms. We got to learn to embrace embodiment of less is more. Have the things. Have all the things. I'm sure by now you've stockpiled so many wellness things and this, that, and you're going to make this shake and such. And you still got the stuff. Why? Because there's no manual. There's no manual, and therefore the thing you brought that thing for may not be the way that you are supposed to be using it. You want to make it into a shake and drink it when maybe you should be putting it in your bathtub. Maybe you should be soaking your feet in it. Maybe you're supposed to make a soap and wash up every day. I've been making soap with black soap and pineapple rinds and other things probably for the past 6 to 8 months. I haven't really brought any soap for myself other than the melt and pour that I've been making. Pineapple rind water exfoliates really, really well, by the way. You are the altar that will alter reality. We have to go back into some reclamation, not just of the trauma drama. We're seeing the reclamation of the trauma drama right now, where it's like, if the money isn't moving, who are we? What are we? What's happening? Why can't people meet us there? Upper class people now having to live in a middle class reality because they needed to learn something. Middle class people now needing to live from a lower poverty social economic space. People in the poverty social economic space just saying fuck money altogether and figuring out how to live in other ways, how to find contentment in other ways. Look at this flower. Hello, baby. Oh, so pretty. Go back to the view. You gotta learn to flow. You gotta learn to grow internally. And that means using your body as the altar. Stepping back from commercialism. If things are getting crazy expensive, what is it that you do that you don't even need? What is it that you're ordering on auto that doesn't even need to happen because you got so many? Where are you continuing a cycle of something that's no longer working the way that it was when it worked well? This is how we learn to process grief, when we get rid of certain things by choice and honor what it did for us in the way of honoring what it helped us do, what it helped us see, who it helped us be. And then if it's not doing that anymore, letting it go. Or letting it be. Because we can let things be without letting them go. Letting things be means that we're not interfering with whatever process is happening. And we often want to interfere with the grief of another, because we've been placed in this societal rat race of sorts that's like, no, you don't have no time for that. Pack it up, button it in, clench it in, clothe it. Don't nobody want to see that, right? But the fact of the matter is, people who haven't handled their own grief can't handle seeing yours for real. That's not your problem, though. You are the altar. You just see that as a projection. We have to learn how to see what's happening outside of us, and not everything is a reflection. of us currently. You know whether or not you've done the work. You know whether or not you've made the changes. You know whether or not you've processed the grief, the anger, the sadness, the abandonment. But until you place what the ancestors are giving you, ooh, I want a little sip of rum. Just a little sip of rum. Ooh, I want some fried chicken. Ooh. And we've been taught to place these things on the altar. But that altar does not run our ancestors' blood through it. And in many courses, that altar is not even the family home. We don't have the family homes anymore. You are the family home. You have to break the cycle that you've been in. You have to make a quick departure to stop at such and such's house and have that plate of fried chicken. Because, oh, the wisdom that she will share once you do internally, inside your body. Good morning. You have to be the altar. It's not just about putting it up on your wall and your mantle. It's inside of you. If you're not walking the bare ground with your feet, how are you getting the information from Mother Gaia? It can't just come through your crown. If you're not digesting these things through your actual physical system, then the chains aren't complete. We're putting in a middleman. We're putting in that beautiful table that we set up. We're putting in that fireplace mantle. We're putting in that ceremony. As a by-proxy, as a proxy for the altar of you. Why? Because we've been taught and assimilated to make it into something and put it over there. And while I agree, having a place and a space for that tangible, yes, I still see, I still am connected, I still respect is wonderful. But what if you didn't have a house? Where would you place it? You would place it in your heart. You would act it through your body. You would move it through your mind. This is why there's a part of the assimilative culture is that we stop doing certain things. We stop walking barefoot. We stop being okay with our bodies. We go for a walk to get our steps in, not just to connect. So then we're moving so fast that we didn't see that flower or those mushrooms or those little tweedles on the end of the branches. We didn't allow that inner child who maybe not moving slow, but that was where their eye line was, to see those little things. This is embodied what we're calling whimsy, but it's just embodied humaning. Embodying being a human and not a machine. You are the altar that will alter reality. And it's not going backwards to bring things forward. And adjust and evolve them accordingly. I love y'all. And I hope you create a great day.